you got to remember in this space, the coach has to work probably 100 times harder than the student to make that student understand what they're doing. And they're still going to be like, is this worth it?
Welcome to the Troy Kearns podcast. We talk all things real estate, business, and entrepreneurship. Today, we've got a very special guest, someone who is a young dude who's kicking ass, making six figures a month through SaaS software. Dominic, welcome to the show. I didn't want to screw up your last name, but how do you pronounce it?
Dominic Baptist. Exactly how it sounds. That's how you pronounce the full name. Dominic Baptist.
Perfect. So Dominic, as I was just telling you, I came across you actually on TikTok. So I was looking for go high level, like hacks, tips, tricks, and I see you doing like always having a soccer ball in your hand or some sort of always having a hood on, something kind of separate yourself, a little pattern interrupt. And I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then I see that you're the #1 affiliate for Go High Level, a software that I just recently fell in love with. Tell us about your story. Like, I know you're young, so your story's pretty fresh, but tell us about it.
It may feel fresh to a lot of you guys, listening, but for me, it really all started when I was 16, 17 years old, and I'll summarize this very quickly. That's when I got into entrepreneurship in the beginning. I'm 27 now. I feel pretty old. I just turned 27 a few weeks ago. But no, I started when I was very young in high school. I tried to do, Amazon FBA, drop shipping, all the things that people saw, especially in 2015. All those things were just going crazy online. Like Ty Lopez was everywhere. Fun fact, I just did his podcast the other day. So it's crazy how it goes full circle. But I was watching all these videos and all these things and just trying to make money. And I failed absolutely miserably at every single thing that I did. I tried over 10 different models. I'm not going to break down all of those, but I failed basically. And then finally, I kind of like quit everything for a little bit. I moved to Arizona, and then COVID happened. I had to move back to my hometown of Springfield, Illinois. I'm at probably the lowest point my entire life, failed at all of these different things. Couldn't even go live on my own, couldn't even afford to do that. So I'm a pretty low point at like 23, 24 years old. And my dad basically says, "Hey, I'm either going to kick you out or you have to go get a job." And I was like, "All right, I'll go get a job." So I go get a job at the mall, my local mall. I was very devastated about doing this. And it was a custom apparel store. So just like custom clothes that they make for sporting events and things like that for my local town. Very, very new business. And they come to me, and after like 3 weeks of seeing my resume, seeing all the things that I did in the past, failed at, they were like, "Can you build us a website? Can you do any marketing for us?" And I was like, I can try, I guess. So I go online to look for website builders. I'm actually about to sign up for ClickFunnels, which is like the one everyone does. And I see something called Go High Level versus ClickFunnels. And I was like, what's Go High Level? So I immediately click on it. I watch the video. And like a lot of people who look up Go High Level, I'm freaking hooked. This was 2 years ago. So right. Go High Level was not Go High Level of today. But I was still hooked. And I love the idea of SaaS, software as a service. Being able to resell a software as a service to me was like insane. And I already knew what social media marketing was. I knew what the SMA space was. Guys like Iman Ghazi, these huge names pushing SMA. This was the next thing. This was the evolved version of that. And I was like, this could be my thing. This could be the thing that like no one's really doing or talking about right now. And I immediately signed them up for it. They were my first client, you could say, but he was just my boss paying me. So imagine getting paid $15 an hour to sit at a desk and learn a business model that's going to change your life for 8 hours a day. I just kept doing this over and over and over again until I felt like, oh my God, I've mastered this software. No offense to that business, but I don't need these guys anymore. And we split ways. We still stay in touch. I talked to them yesterday. But my first clients, we split ways after I had built them the website and all the automations and done their marketing. They became the top on Google. And after I saw that, I was like, it's over. I'm going to every business I can possibly go to in Springfield, and I'm going to be that guy. I'm 24 years old. I've got a future with this thing. I know the software like the back of my hand, and there weren't really many competitors in my area. So that's exactly how I got started with Go High Level in the first place. And I started going around, and I figured out I was a decent salesman. I started closing deals left and right. I think I only had one business ever turn me down. And when I actually talked to somebody face to face, everyone loved the software. They loved the demos that I was showing. And I ended up having too much work on my hands. But I had a lot of clients. It was going great. I was networking like crazy. And then midway in between all of this, by the way, because this story takes some turns. So I'll try to keep it as condensed as I possibly can. One of my buddies from, I've known him since kindergarten. He comes to me and he goes, hey, I want to start a business. I see that you're doing all this website stuff. Can you do it for me? And I said, sure. And I gave him an amazing deal, $50 a month, absolutely chump change, $50 a month. I set his entire business up. It went from nothing, complete nothing, to he's all over the place online in under 24 hours, because that's what Go High Level can do. It wasn't even really me. I knew how to use it, but Go High Level is just insane. And so I put him everywhere. He's getting calls left and right. And by the way, his business was fencing. He was going to build fences, and he had one machine. But he really wanted to get into the land clearing business, which in the Midwest is freaking huge. You're just clearing land, and they're going to, either plant crops there or whatever it may be. But it's a solid business to be in around here. And that's what he wanted to eventually do. Well, now he can do it because he's getting calls left and right. And that's all you need is the jobs. And so he immediately calls me 3 days later and goes, dude, I'm getting work like crazy. Do you want to be a partner with me? And I was like, I guess, I'm still juggling all this other stuff, but I guess I can have another business, whatever. And by the way, at this point, I'm making good enough money to live on my own and whatnot, but I'm not by any means, loaded. So I took that job, I took on that position and owned part of that company. That company now, a year and a half later, is about to hit $500,000 in 1 year. So that one exploded, and that was great. But that's not where the story gets crazy. The story gets crazy about 2-3 months after that happened. There's something called being an affiliate for Go High Level. So what I was doing in the beginning was I was just going around and setting everybody up and doing a lot of the services on the back end myself, which is just SaaS, software as a service. Being an affiliate for a company means I can go to someone who's an entrepreneur like me, say, hey, have you seen this thing called Go High Level? Yeah, it looks cool. If you guys use my link, I can give you a course or this or whatever it may be in exchange to use my affiliate link. And then the company will pay me a commission for that link being used. They pay 40% monthly recurring commission. So if I get somebody on, they stick around for a year, I'm getting paid every single month for that year. And I saw myself and I was like, well, I've been paying for Go High Level for a really long time. Someone signed me up and they're probably making good money off me. And I never even talked to that person. That in my head was like the most scalable opportunity ever. And I just couldn't even believe that no one would, like, barely anyone was doing this. We had guys like Jason Wardrop who basically had a monopoly on the entire thing. I mean, he was number one in the world and no one was even coming close. And they even built the leaderboard, the affiliate leaderboard, because of Jason Wardrop. And I'm like, all right, this guy has the whole thing, in the palm of his hands. Maybe I should try this out. I also noticed no one had promoted on TikTok. Nobody. No short form marketing for Go High Level could be found anywhere. No, 2 years ago, actually about a year ago, you couldn't find it. It was only on YouTube, and the views were, Jason was top guy. He may be getting 5,000 to 10,000 views on a video. Like, yeah, that's good for YouTube, but no one was hitting millions of views. So this thing was not mainstream. I think it had sub 10,000 users on Go High Level, barely anything at all. ClickFunnels had 150,000. So not even close. So I just saw all these things like pointing to, hey, get on social media, try this thing. I'd never really been on social media in my life. I really hadn't. The only thing I ever had was Snapchat. I never had Instagram, Facebook, anything growing up. So me being on social media was actually really ironic because I just didn't do it. And then I turned the camera on. I was pretty awkward in the beginning, and I tried to do my YouTube videos, and it was a little hard, but I got over it. And I failed for the first 3 months. Nobody really watched any of my stuff. And then I get on TikTok because one of my clients said, you should try TikTok. I said no for a week. I'm not doing TikTok. It's weird. And he goes, no, trust me. Like, YouTube's great, but TikTok can get you to explode. And I was like, all right, fine. So after a week, I said, I'll do it. I got on TikTok. I put the hood on, whatever. And 7 videos later, I go viral. And I'll always remember that day going viral. I was in church. It was Easter Sunday, and my phone starts buzzing. I had a free course. So you could watch my video and then sign up for my free course. The free course led you to the affiliate link. So, whenever someone signed up for my free course, I kind of thought, oh, maybe they'll be my affiliate. And usually it happened. So my phone starts buzzing like crazy because I get a text whenever someone signs up for my course. And I wasn't going to look at my phone. I was in church. I was like, I'm not looking. And then finally it ends. I pull up my phone. And within that 60-minute period, I had enough signups to make me $36,000 a month. Within
$36,000 off one viral video.
In 60 minutes. Yeah.
60 minutes.
Yeah. So I looked at my parents who are super used to me saying, oh, I have the next big thing. And I said, oh, I just did it. And they were, my mom's response was, I'll believe it when I see it in the bank account. And I was like, all right. And she doesn't have that response anymore. So basically that was crazy. What ended up really happening after that viral day, fun fact, TikTok took that video down an hour later. So I didn't really get to experience what could have happened. They took the video down.
Why'd they take it down?
They took it down. I'm not even joking. The reason said for bullying and harassment, which shows you how ridiculous their whatever that is.
Jason got you.
Yeah. I was like, no. Jason's my friend, but I know for a fact one of the top comments said, "Glad I spent 4 years getting a website degree or programming degree so this kid can do my job in 5 seconds," or something like that. And I could tell, I was like, oh, programmers are going to hate me because this kind of replaces them in a sense. And I think that's what ended up happening was a lot of programmers saw it and they got it banned.
You know, what's funny is I did not know Jason's name until I saw, I had seen Jason's name several years ago when he was marketing to real estate agents, which is my background, for Facebook advertising. And then all of a sudden I see your stuff and I see that Jason's like one of the top affiliates there who I had seen. And I'm like, oh, this guy completely changed his direction because he was going off Facebook ads, Facebook advertising, and now he's doing 100% Go High Level. But the thing is, one thing I wanted to mention that you've talked about a lot, which is that you were all in on Go High Level. Like when I saw it, I saw the same thing that you saw and I was like, I'm all in. I'm going to build all of my businesses through this software. I'm going to keep all of my students in this software. I'm going to create a funnel system for my students for buying real estate and setting up their platforms and their funnels, and then white label it and sell it to my students because it's going to be good for them. I'm going to create videos, and I'm like, this thing is awesome. Talk about with the land business, and I had seen you talk about that, so I'm glad you shared that story. With all these businesses, I have a very basic understanding of Go High Level, very, very basic. Yeah. So talk about all of the tools and tricks. And the other thing that you mentioned was that ClickFunnels has all these users, all this brand recognition. But to be honest with you, with ClickFunnels, you need Zapier, you need all these other bolt-on components. You need a LastPass just to get ClickFunnels because you need to keep track of all the freaking 10 or 15 different other subscription services you're going to have to use. But Go High Level has everything. It's like they talk to the affiliates, they find out what they need, and they make the changes inside their software is what I've kind of figured out.
That's exactly what they do. I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about, what I'm not allowed to talk about from Go High Level's perspective, but they have secret meetings with affiliates like me, and they say, hey, we're testing out X, Y, and Z, but 5 months in advance, and we get not final say, but we get approval on what gets sent out. I think that's great. I have not that I deserve a say in what Go High Level does, but if have a bunch of people bringing in that much money and that many new users to the platform, I think it's good that we kind of get to choose and see what they're doing before anyone else and get to make decisions on that. So that's pretty cool. I have another meeting with them soon about the e-com space, which is coming to Go High Level very soon. So they're always adding more stuff. They're always doing crazy things. And ClickFunnels, not to bash ClickFunnels here, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's for funnels. I mean, they did a great job back in the day. They built a lot of funnels. Everyone was doing funnels, but when you got to get into automatic text messaging, marketing, social media integration, that's going to be a pain in the ass. So this is where Go High Level found something that ClickFunnels wasn't really doing. And then the SaaS side of things that ClickFunnels was doing kind of indirectly, where it's hey, sign up with my ClickFunnels and I'll make you a bunch of funnels. But with this white labeled SaaS, it's no, this is your thing. This is your business, your entity, and you're going out and getting signups and clients, and they're using your software. That part of it, was kind of newer to the industry, which I love. So that's one of the main differences between the two, in my opinion. Well,
one thing I found that was really interesting on one of your videos when I was researching you is I thought that your explanation for how you got good at it was so basic and so straightforward that I was like, man, this kid's just a doer. Because you go in there, you're if you want to get good at it, you just literally click every button. That's what I did. I clicked every button and I figured out where it went. And then when that project presented a problem, I went and solved that problem, and I got good at that. And then I went to the next step, and then I went to the next step, and then I went to the next step. And you became a massive, a great user of the product. Therefore, when somebody asks you a question, you know how to answer it, right?
Yes, it's a blessing and a curse how I learned in school and how I learned business in general. It's a very prideful way to do it, I think, because I I didn't really have the opportunity to get help back then because there weren't many affiliates teaching it. So like, and it was very hard to get in touch with Jason Wardrop. He would have never replied to me back then. Now we're friends, but no chance he would have replied to me back then. And so there was no chance, there was no way I was getting help from somebody. I only had support chat and myself. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sit on support chat for 45 minutes when I could just click it and find out what it does myself. So that's kind of like how I've been in school. That's how I am in business. And it may not be the smartest method if you have a teacher, somebody that can teach you right there, but I didn't have that. So yeah, for me, it was like, I'm clicking every button, I'm doing everything. I'm sitting here for 8 hours a day at a desk getting paid $15 an hour. I might as well, figure this software thing out. And yeah, it was definitely hard, but after 2 or 3 months, I mean, if you're not willing to give 2 or 3 months of your life away to change everything, then you're probably not going to be a good business owner. Sorry.
How much has it changed your life in terms of like, I mean, you're making full disclosure. I mean, you talk about it, so I don't have a problem.
Yeah, we can bring it up.
How much are you making per month net?
When I say the number, I like to actually give people a timeline of when it happened, because I think that's extremely important for them to know what it could be and where it is at now. Is when I went viral, that was April of last year. So it's, less than a year and a half, I think. April of last year, I go viral. That first viral month, just an affiliate commission was like $7,000. And that was only in 2 weeks of going viral, was like 7,000 in monthly recurring revenue. The next month I did 13K. The next one was 22K. And then the next month was 30. And then I went from 30 to 50K a month. And so that was all in 5 months. And then from 50 to 60, and then from 60 to 113,000 a month. So within 7 months, I went from like quitting my job and doing okay and still at my parents' house because the housing market was insane. But still at my parents' house and to making 6 figures a month in 7 months. So that was ridiculous. And that was November. Now I make around 200,000 a month. And which is insane money. Like, it's insane. I mean, yes. And when you get to that level, you realize like there's guys at such bigger levels than that, but $200,000 a month is massive amounts of money. So the one thing I wanted to provide value to you, because you're providing value to all of these things, and I don't know if you know anything about the real estate space, but one thing that a lot of like entrepreneurs understand is that like you have a huge tax problem now because you're making so much stinking money that you're probably going to pay a lot of money, like, close to 7 figures in taxes the way you're rolling. And what I wanted to tell you a little bit about, to share kind of my knowledge base, which is completely different than SaaS, which is that if you buy real estate, however you do it, you can actually probably eliminate your taxes and continue to build wealth. Like, you could like get it down to zero. Like, it's pretty crazy. And that's what I'm trying to do. My accountants are working on different ways to prove that my income is passive, which is very difficult to do, but Jason Wardrop's accountants did it. So I know mine can figure it out. So as soon as I prove affiliate income is passive and a couple of write-offs and things of that nature, I'm going to go crazy on real estate. My mom's a real estate agent. I just bought my first property. I close tomorrow. at noon.
Awesome.
So first property, close tomorrow at noon. It's a duplex. I'm actually going to live in it with my friends for about 6 months. I'll go buy another house and then rent that one out. I'm going to get in the rental game for sure. I was thinking about doing Airbnb, but now I'm kind of in the rental spot because I just know so many people around here that I can get it rented. Skip Airbnb. It's going to, you're not going to have the time. You're not going to want to manage it. No, I don't want to manage it at all. Yeah. And it's hyper regulated. Like it's legal one day and then it's illegal the next. No. And fun fact, another thing, at least being in the Midwest, something that a lot of entrepreneurs do around my area is buy farmland and then cultivate the land and rent out the land to farmers. So I have a guy right now, he's one of my biggest clients ever for land clearing. And this guy pays us hundreds of thousands of dollars to clear his land. He has 2,000 acres and it's worth $14 million right now. And he makes a ton of money off of that land. He makes 500 grand a year just renting out the land to farmers. 500,000 a year off the land is ridiculous. And then he makes another 200,000 every single year selling the trees. And then he does a lot of other things. He lets people hunt there. He makes another 300 grand doing that. So buying land like that is another thing that I'm going to be doing for sure. Yeah, the positive about land is you have a lot of like ways to make money through hunting leases, through crops. I'm a transplant from Vegas to Midwest Kansas City, Missouri. So I'm a Midwest guy now,
And so, yeah, I'm learning about the crops. I'm learning about, like, one of the guys I met with the other day has 1,400 acres. He's got all the farm equipment for planting corn, for doing all that stuff. So it's kind of cool to learn that new aspect. Whereas in Vegas, land, believe it or not, even though there's abundance of it in Las Vegas, it's super regulated by the government, and they only release a little bit, so you can't buy anything substantial out there unless you have just oodles and oodles of money. It's really controlled by everything. That's awesome. One thing that helps you really eliminate your taxes from a real estate standpoint is called bonus depreciation or accelerated depreciation or cost segregation. And that allows you, like, if you couldn't do it on land because it's for the building improvement, but if you were to buy a large piece of property or something like that, you would be able to actually take about 30% of whatever that property was. Let's say it's $1 million, 30% as a direct loss against your income. So it's pretty awesome that way. Did you ever want to invest in real estate? Did you ever want to live the life of your dreams? Did you want financial freedom? Did you want to break the generational curse? Did you want to help your parents out? Did you want to help your mom out? Maybe you work for a job that you don't like. They say there's only one reason to work a job, and that's to learn, right? If you're not learning at your job, you're just going through the motions, right? We have a free Facebook group, the Millionaire Mentorship Facebook group for real estate investing. Make sure you join. The link is in the description. If you want to schedule a free call with me and my team and you actually want to start, I would suggest you do so. We have helped hundreds of people change their lives, and all they had to do was get started. They booked a call with me and my team, and they got the ball rolling. And I'm so confident that if you don't get your first or next investment property within the first 90 days, you don't pay, and I'll give you $1,000 cash. That's how confident I am. Obviously, you got to take action. You can't just do nothing and expect that to happen, but that's life. Life's all about taking action. Make sure you give this podcast a 5-star review, share it with a friend, and take action. You're kicking ass. That number is going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to do things to grow and build more wealth. Where do you see the next few years going for you at right now?
Well, we haven't even discussed my newest project, which is pretty large. I've been working on it for 7 months. Is that obviously the coaching industry is huge. I mean, we've seen it, courses, things of that nature. I just never liked the way that it was done. I never liked the whole, spend $1,000 on a course, especially as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid or whatever, when I had to buy my first course. And I mean, I couldn't even tell you how nervous I was spending that $600 to buy my first. I was terrified. I thought I was going to get ripped off. I didn't know what it was like. And even when I was in the course, I was so scared about the money being gone that I couldn't even focus on the business model. And so I've just never been a huge fan of that. I think if you're going to pay a lot of money for something like that, you should get coaching, not courses. So one thing that I've been working on for 7 months is, and I know a lot of people will compare it to kind of the Andrew Tate model, because it is similar. And I think he's a genius in the regard that he did it like this, is having a hub, a spot to go to for $25 a month, $50 a month, these low monthly costs, where you can go in and get courses from all over, from all these different industries, get live, we're going to go live in there. So I've been basically building a Discord for 7 months. It already has 130,000 members in it because we got to use one of the biggest Discords on the planet to go off of. There's a long story behind that. And we have been, me and my partner, my two partners, have been going around for literally 7 months straight, almost every single day. Some of the biggest creators you could ever, we just did Ty Lopez, some of the biggest creators you can imagine. And we get them on podcasts, we get them on interviews, and we get whatever information they have, whatever courses they have for free, whatever we can get out of them, we put it into that Discord, and we've just been building it up and up and up. And then we did a wait list, and we got a bunch of people on the wait list. And here's the biggest part of it is we have a massive affiliate program, because obviously I'm a big affiliate guy. So we're giving away 50% of the entire company, 50% affiliate links monthly for anyone that gets people to sign up, for people that want to go promote it. And that's really where we're going to separate ourselves from the competition, is no one ever wants to give away their company. They don't want to give away even 10%, let alone half the entire thing. So that's what we're going to do to get that thing going in the beginning. And we've been doing that for a while now. So that's that, in my opinion, has the ability to make more money than anything I've ever done. Just the amount of names and the contacts that we've met. One of the guys I did a podcast with yesterday, dude makes $7 million a month, and he knows the Nelk Boys and some of the biggest names you could ever imagine. Mr. Beast, these huge YouTubers, and so just making those connections is huge for me. And the business model is great because we're even doing a free trial. We just decided last week we're going to give a free trial. I'm like, I am showing proof that it's not about the money anymore. That if you come in here and you don't like it, leave. Like, that's it. And it's about the value. That's why I haven't launched it, like fully launched it, because I need it to be as close to perfect as possible before I even let a lot of those people in off the wait list. And let them in there and see what it's like. So that's what I've been doing, just constantly building, putting so much time into that. It's ridiculous. But that's my future. I mean, that in my opinion, it's building something up like that, then having my own app, my own entity that I could potentially sell one day. I think that's where you separate yourself.
You see yourself like IPOing it, taking it to Wall Street?
Depending on how it gets portrayed, if I can get past the whole, like, it's just a bunch of courses and get it into an actual like e-learning app, then yes, I think I could totally do that. That's the hump that so many people fail to do, because they're not constantly adding to it, or they're, a lot of people, you got to remember, in this space, especially the coaching space, the coach has to work probably 100 times harder than the student to make that student understand what they're doing. Like, that is unbelievably important, that I'm going to have to put in 10x of the work for a $25 a month subscription. Someone's going to pay $25 a month for something I put millions of dollars of my knowledge and this and course into, and they're still going to be like, is this worth it? It's like, that's very frustrating as a course creator, but I understand that's what I have to do. So like, it's just going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I'm excited for it. I've been just going crazy every single day trying to add more to it.
Can you break down, since you're an expert affiliate, can you break down like what a great affiliate model would be for somebody who's never, like for me, like if I wanted to start an affiliate, I have no idea. I know that there's a lot of people that push affiliations, that they're always selling something for somebody else, which is the affiliate model, but you just designed your own affiliate model, and you obviously are one of the biggest affiliates for Go High Level. So how does an affiliate work?
Well, let's start with the two different types of affiliate marketing. One is the one that everyone used to do back in the day, like ClickBank, which is, hey, I'm going to promote this water bottle or whatever it is on Amazon. Use my link and I get a little percentage, whatever. Like, and then you do a review on it and you get a percentage of the product. I never liked that method, because you're getting paid one time for that product. But when I saw that you could do monthly recurring, like software, where it's like, hey, I get you hooked on ClickFunnels, Go High Level, Netflix, whatever it may be, and I know that you're going to be paying it every month, then I'm okay, because then I don't have to work twice as hard next month to make twice as much money. I only have to work the same amount to make twice as much money, and then 3 times, then 4 times. So the exponential growth on monthly recurring is ridiculous. That's why you see every single business right now doing any type of subscription model you can even think about. CNN, Fox News, like even news channels are like, pay me $5 a month for what? It's the news, but they're going to try to do it because that's what I call it, the Netflix model. I think Netflix brought it to an insane mainstream, market. Now everyone wants to do it. And that's why you see Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, all these other things. But anyway, that's kind of where the affiliate marketing for me is. I only teach monthly recurring affiliate marketing. So what I love about it, what's the difference between kind of doing an affiliate marketing model versus starting your own company, or do it, where you're gonna have to do all the back end work, or you're gonna have to pay for the people that are, programming it and this and that. The difference between me and Go High Level in general is I'm bringing the people, the customers, to Go High Level, and they're doing a lot of the services. Like if something goes wrong, they fix it, not me. But I will preface that by saying a good affiliate and a great affiliate are completely two different things. A good affiliate will do exactly what I just said. A great affiliate will be that support. And I was that support, and I still am that support, but I was really that support for those first, 9 months, a year. And I still support my affiliates, of course, but a lot of them don't need my support anymore. They're some of them are better than me. They're crushing it, man. So you gotta, if you're gonna teach something, if it's gonna be something like a software like Go High Level that's pretty intricate, and you want people to use your link, then yeah, you gotta teach it, and you gotta give support, and you gotta answer people's questions, and you gotta go on Zoom calls. I did a lot of free Zoom calls back in the day. I was working, I'm not even joking, probably 17, 18-hour days when I was top 3 in the world in Go High Level. I think people saw me as like, oh, this kid's so lucky. He's probably making 30K a month, 40K a month. He's living the life. No, I was not. I was not living the life at all. I was working 10 times harder than I have ever worked in my entire life. I was honestly miserable for a lot of it. I was answering the same questions over and over again. I was getting yelled at if I was 4 hours late to respond when I had 10,000 DMs. And I had no employees, no virtual assistants, nothing. So that's the difference between a good affiliate and a great affiliate, is how much work are you actually going to put in. I think one of the most frustrating things I ever heard was like, oh, you're just an affiliate, you don't have to, you don't have to do anything, it must be nice. I was like, yeah, it must be nice in your head if that's what you think I did, but no, I'm always working, I'm always answering questions, I'm always making sure that they're solid, because if they're solid at the software, they're going to keep paying. If they keep paying, I keep getting paid. So, why not help them?
Where does your work ethic come from? I mean, the drive comes from somewhere. I mean, it's internal, and it's either a chip on your shoulder that you got something to prove, or there's, because you don't get to a certain level, like you find your way there by something. Yeah. So where did it come from?
Deep question. I'll try to give the answer that I think is the answer. So number one, I think you have to see success. It's something, whether it's on a movie or this, or see it in person. So for me, it was my grandpa. He's unbelievably successful, and he got kind of destroyed in the 2008, crash. But before that, I mean, when I was a kid, I took private jets to, Colorado and went skiing, and I thought that was normal. And I'm just like, oh, this is normal. My grandpa is insane. My dad lived a very we lived a very middle-class life. It just, whenever I'm with my grandpa, I was a celebrity for a week. That's how it was. We had the biggest hotel in Springfield. You can even look it up. The largest building in all of Springfield, the Hilton Hotel, it was his. He owned it. And the top of the hotel is 30 stories. Was a restaurant, the nicest restaurant in the entire town, called Nick and Nino's. My brother's name's Nino. My name's Dominic. So it was Nick and Nino's. And so I was living the dream, as a kid. I'm like, I had teachers coming up to me like, can I get reservations? I'm trying to take my wife to your restaurant. I'm a little kid. I was like, I have no say. I was like, I've never even eaten there before. I was like, I don't know. But no, it's so I watched him just do whatever he wanted to do, get whatever he wanted to get. And go on the best vacations ever and all these amazing things. And I think I was just like, and I always told him, even at like 11, 12 years old, I said, I don't want any of your stuff. I used to tell him that to his face. I was like, I don't want any of your stuff. I'm doing it myself. I don't want, because he used to talk to me about handing me the keys to the hotel and all these things, because he knew how much I wanted money. Like, and I'm not saying that's a healthy thing to want, but ever since I was 9,
I'm gonna say that for you.
yeah. I was 9, 10 years old, man. I wanted money. I saved every dollar I ever made. I've been working at my family farm since I was 12. I would make $5 an hour. I worked every single summer. I saved up every dollar. My brother was the exact opposite. He'd go work and he'd spend the money before he even had it. And then my sister spends money she doesn't even have either. So it was definitely just me. It was just me. And so that's been in me for years. I just always wanted to make money. I always loved I watched all the Steve Jobs documentaries. I thought what he did was insane. And I just wanted to make money and want to have I thought having your own business was like the coolest thing ever. So yeah, as soon as I could legally start anything, I did. And yeah, I failed miserably. Like I said in the beginning, it was really hard. And then when my grandpa lost pretty much everything, not to get personal on that, but I mean,
I really would like you to share it, because I think that hits home, and you can learn a lot of lessons from those, right?
Yes, I learned a lot from him, because I remember he lost $30 million in one flight. We just left for a flight, and the bank called him and said, dude, we just took 30 million from your account. Like, he lost 30 million in an hour. That's like, that messes with your head a lot. And so and this is a guy that was doing hundreds of millions of dollars in contract deals and crazy things. He had an electric company, so he's running the electricity for like huge towns, and it was an international company. International. It was outside of the United States. So to lose all of that, like in a relatively quick time, it made me realize a few things that I didn't want to. I wanted a business model that was like cash flow rich, but also profit rich. I was like, I know there's different ways to look at that, but I noticed that he was taking loans out constantly. And I know that's like, there's some people that like that. And I do like that. Yeah. I was like, it depends who you are. Like, it's like always use the bank's money or whatever, but that's what he did. And then when something like 2008 happens, what are you going to do when you owe all that money back? You can't pay it. So, and then the state wasn't paying him for the contract. So he was doing all these jobs. He wasn't getting paid. And the bank's interest rate were flying. And I was just like, that's terrifying to me. So when I found Go High Level, I'm like, my profit margins are 93%. I don't care about banks. I don't care about loans. I don't need them. If I want to go buy the house, I buy it in cash. Like, I'm fine. So like, that's one thing that I learned from him, that I'm like, thank God I found this software thing. because I don't have to worry about going out and getting a crazy loan. And even with the land clearing business, no one is starting a land clearing business without loans, but I can, because I have millions of dollars. So like if I want to go buy a $50,000 machine, I'm buying it, and I don't have to worry about a loan or this or that. And that
bonus depreciation right there will help you out with your taxes too.
Yes. That helps too. That's a whole nother thing. It's the land clearing business for tax write-offs and things of that nature. I can dump a lot of money in there because I don't take profits from that business at all. I lose money on that business, but lose money. You don't actually, you know how it is. So, so that's
on paper, I'm a loser
on paper, but like the net worth of the entire business, and we're making money. Don't worry. But so like I guess my drive came from that, watching all that. My uncle went through the same thing. My uncle was one of the biggest house builders in Georgia. This guy was, and he is. I have a huge family, a massive family. I mean, so many cousins, and my dad's one of 6 kids, and we were all very, very close. And he would buy us the craziest trips. My uncle would, and because he was building homes during, I think 2000 to 2008, maybe in the 90s he started. But I mean, he was crushing it, making $4 or $5 million a year profit just in his after taxes. He told me everything. He was like, me and him were very, very close. And so notice how I was like, I'm close with my grandpa, I'm close with my uncle, the 2 richest people in my family. And he would always have the new iPhones that came out and the new iPads and all these things. And me and him were always just extremely close. And we always talked about business and things of that nature, because he crushed it, man. He had a huge mansion in Georgia. He was living life, but he would spend a lot of his money on my family. And I thought that was super cool. So I took, I always, when you make money, it's cool to spend money on yourself, like whatever, if you want something. But I think everyone can agree it's way cooler when you buy somebody else something. It feels a little bit better. So he taught me that part of it. So recently I just paid for my brother's wedding, which was pretty sick. And then I'm gonna buy my parents a house in Florida soon. So I'm starting to follow in his footsteps for all that stuff. But he was another one that I definitely have to mention, at least for why I had that drive. I think if I didn't have those two, then who knows if I would have cared about money or even saw what money can do and gone after it. I hope I would have, but I can't tell you that answer.
That's awesome. I think, one thing that sticks out to me is that even though you're a lot younger than me, like by 20 years, I turned 46 this year. So like, I've been, whenever I hear about like people going bust or people losing money, and I think to like the way I started, like I started good, and then I went wrong, and then I almost lost everything. I held on, and that taught me like I don't want a lot of debt. Like I want like houses owned free and clear, and I have most of my houses are owned free and clear. And I think that when you say that, like what other people said, like, well, you don't worry about it, just borrow. My answer to that, and your answer is really smart, is like, listen, they haven't seen bad times. When you see bad times, you see who the real guys with money are, because when the banks call those notes due and you are forced to kind of expose yourself, a lot of people go under in bad times, as you will see here in the future.
One other thing I want to bring up that I forgot to bring up is both scenarios, because my uncle, he went broke too in 2000. I mean, he was a home builder. He had the worst case scenario you could ever have in 2008, ever. He was building 300 homes a year. He was crushing it, but then got crushed. And my grandpa obviously got crushed too. Both of them had a way out, and because of pride, did not choose that way out. They both had, hey, here's your golden parachute, or do you want to save the company? They both choose save the company. They both lost. So that's one thing I will never if I have a golden parachute or a way out and things are looking rough, I'm gone. I will swallow my pride. I'm leaving. And that is one thing I've told my business partners. I told my business partner with FOMO, which is that Discord I'm building. I said, if we ever have a buyout or something like that and things are looking weird, I'm leaving. Like, you're going to do it yourself. I'm taking my money. I'm gone. So like, I think it's really important to get love your business, but don't fall in love with it. Be able to separate from it when you have to. Cause I wouldn't
don't go down with the ship.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you have another story to tell, right? Like, and one of the guys, like him or not, but one of the guys who's probably the best recovery artist was Donald Trump during the time where all the walls are closing in. He's cool as a cucumber back when all the banks are seizing all of his assets. He's just on the phone negotiating and stuff like that. But now with your uncle and your grandpa, Where are they at now?
It's a sad story, man. It's just like some of them don't have happy endings, I guess. I guess my uncle's isn't as sad, but yes. So like both of them had the golden parachute option. My grandpa's was $13 million. They said, hey, take your retirement. It's 13 million. You're done. We'll buy the company and everything else. That was his retirement, just 13 mil. And he would have been fine. Like he would have been great. He wouldn't have had to get hit with that crazy thing, but he didn't take it. And he's 80. He just turned 86 like the other day. So health wise, he's crushing it, but it's sad to see that he has to carry cash around all the time. He can't really use credit cards, anything like that. He still has his house, but they even try to take his dogs from him. And yeah, my mom, tears up every time we talk about it because you watch. I mean, this guy was the top of the top. I mean, anytime I say my name in town, they know who I am because of him. So like that's tough. But like but it's also, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. He's 86. The guy got to live the best life ever for 7 years. Like the guy was freaking balling, farther than the average lifespan. So like I don't feel horrible for him because oh my God, I can't even explain how insane his life was. He's an Italian guy too, very Italian guy, and he fits the part. He's exactly from like Goodfellas or something. You'd see him. Don't go in his basement. You'll see like 1,000 guns and all this stuff. But they try to take his guns from him and everything else. That was stupid of them. But yeah, no, he's that type of guy. Very intimidating guy. But I was never intimidated by him. I was because he's my freaking grandpa. But yeah, and I always had a pretty decent connection with him. But even when I started making money, that was tough because I think he's so freaking prideful. I remember one time he didn't want to speak to me because he thought I was some hot shot. And I was like, dude, I didn't even do anything. I was like, I'm a little arrogant sometimes, but I thought he would be proud, and I know he is. He was prouder later, but my mom ripped him a new one because he was playing little, he's like super prideful. And a lot of Italian families probably know that. But yeah, we're cool now. But yeah, we had a little bit of a hiccup because I started making millions of dollars at a very young age. And it took him a little bit longer to do that. But he's alive, healthy. We're good there. And, I already said I'd help him out if he needed help in any way. I think we're just dealing with a lot of bank issues and stuff for now. But other than that, my uncle, on the other hand, he used his knowledge of business and finally swallowed his pride and got a job with one of his old clients, one of his old buddies. And he works underneath him and he makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And he's slowly building it back up and getting out of that debt because he was also given a golden parachute. And instead of taking it, he took a $10 million loss the next year. Instead of making money, he lost 10 million. So that wasn't good. But he's been working his way back up the ladder as well. And he'll be fine. He's a consultant now. So he teaches people what to do and what not to do. But he's a beast.
So that's great that you can have that wisdom that you've seen, like, and be able to apply it yourself personally, knowing that, like, hey man, if there's something like that, I'm not going down with the ship. And I think there's a lot of wisdom from a young guy like yourself to have at such a very early age. And that makes sense that you learned it from your grandpa, you learned it from your uncle, and then you applied it. Most people can't say all of that. Kind of to wrap things up, like for people who are trying to get into SaaS and they want to like, hey man, like if I was trying to learn SaaS, I would go and link myself on to Dominic Baptist. Like that would be what I would do. So if people are trying to do that, how can they follow you, get a hold of you, become an affiliate for you? How can they do all of that?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in SaaS, and one thing that I haven't really got to bring up about Go High Level in general is it's not just SaaS. Is I run my land clearing business through it as well, and I do equity deals through it. And there's so many different ways to make money with Go High Level. It's insane. So like, it's not just I built a website and I'm going to go out and sell that. There's a lot of different ways to build companies. I could start a company tomorrow with literally Go High Level and have it up and running. And a company I don't even know exists. So like that's how crazy it is. So that's what I wanted to start with. If you guys are interested in business in general, Go High Level is definitely a solid starting point. And then, yeah, to find me at just Dominic Baptist on YouTube is going to be the #1 spot because I've made hundreds of videos, probably around 100 videos, just showing everything you could ever want to know about GHL. Go all the way down the list and you'll find different ones that will get you where you got to be. I'd say TikTok, Instagram, these are more promotional ones. Like it's just me talking for 30 seconds, 60 seconds saying, hey, go check out my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see how I promote it and you want to be an affiliate, go watch those videos, copy them. I don't care. Everyone copies my stuff anyway. So like it's, you'll get views. And then you can just go over to YouTube where you're going to find my course, which is completely free. I don't charge for anything. The only thing I charge for is my time. So like if I do a one-on-one Zoom call, I actually charge extremely low. $100 for 30 minutes, $150 for an hour. I've kept that price for a year. I have not changed it. And by the way, for how much I make, it's ridiculous. I should be charging more, but I decided to keep that price for as long as I'm going to do Zoom calls. And so, yeah, people can hop on. I do Zoom calls all the time. People that just book an hour with me. They ask me anything they want. I can go on their account, fix things. I even have setup calls where I set up your entire Go High Level account for you on Zoom with you. So I do stuff like that. But yeah, if you want a free course and a bunch of free stuff, then YouTube's the way to go. Dominic Baptist for that. And then DM me if you have questions. You can become my affiliate, and my affiliates get full access to me whenever they want. So shoot me a question and I'll get back to you on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is.
Awesome. And for those of you who are using Go High Level or interested in Go High Level, it's funny, it was brought up to me by a guy named CJ McMahon, mullet marketer. You might have seen him on TikTok, but he was like, when I was looking for a new CRM, I had been on the same CRM for, and those of you guys who don't know, Go High Level is much more than a CRM. It's everything. So it literally is, you want to send text message, you want to build websites, you want to have your teachable, you want to have your courses, your quizzes, every single thing to be in, like to have your customer stay inside your platform. It does, and it's a massive amount, but he was the first person to tell me about the product, and I told him the other day, I was like, dude, I don't know why I didn't listen to you, because I jumped through all these other CRMs and I found this one. It's just so powerful. Can you give us a few tips just to kind of wrap up like what you can do for your business with Go High Level?
Okay, yes. So number one, we'll be here all day if I mention every single thing that you can do. So we'll start with the basics of how, if I had to start a business from scratch tomorrow, what would I do with Go High Level? Obviously, build a website. They got beautiful templates. And websites is one thing that a lot of people will be like, oh, you need a coder or this or that, or it needs to look like this, SEO and all that stuff. No, I have made it very far with simple funnels. They work perfectly fine. I've made millions of dollars with some of the simplest funnels designs you've ever seen in your life. So don't believe anything that some programmer tells you. You can build beautiful websites in minutes on Go High Level. The next thing that's extremely important is that a website doesn't mean anything unless you have automated responses, unless you have text message responses, unless you have a way for you to get in touch with the customer itself. So when someone goes on a website, they're going to see a form. Once they fill out that form, what's going to happen? You want them to get a text message. That's what they're going to be able to do inside of Go High Level. You can customize those messages, follow-up messages. One thing that people mess up all the time when they run ads, there's no follow-up campaigns. There's no text message campaigns. You expect them to click on the ad, go to the website, contact you on the call. They're not going to do all that. That's too much. So what Go High Level allows you to do is skip a lot of that process. And when you're integrating, by the way, that's my next point, you can integrate all social medias. So when you're integrating Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Google, all these different places, you can run ads through the system, which is just crazy. You do not need Zapier for that or any third-party software to connect your website and your ads and all these different things to your automated text messages now, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you can now have a contact list and send out email campaigns and text message campaigns, which is going to be huge for you. And integrating Facebook, your Facebook pages, your Instagram pages, all of that can be scheduled and posted inside of Go High Level as well. They're getting into the e-com space. They have integrations with Stripe, PayPal, and a ton of other payment processors. So if you guys sell courses or sell products or sell things like that, you can do it on Go High Level as well. So yeah, the list just goes freaking on. But in terms of businesses and pretty much any business you can think of can run it, at least the online version, the online part of it through Go High Level.
Yeah, it's like your COO, your Chief Technology Officer, your marketing channel. It's the best sales and marketing platform that exists on the internet today. There's nothing better. There's nothing even close. And like you said, up until like a very short time ago, a lot of people didn't even know what it was. Like, and still don't. And so I think it's just on the tip of the iceberg in terms of what you're going to see from them. And for people who have been allegiant to, because Russell Brunson has done such a great job branding ClickFunnels as the space to be, but if they go and switch over and check this one out, they're going to be like, there's no comparison. It's not even close. So that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing not only your story, your success, but some of the failures and some of your personal things that have happened, I super appreciate it. Guys, make sure you give him a 5-star review. He came on there. Make sure you share this video with a friend, and let Dominic be like living proof to you that like anything is possible. You know, if I was making as much money as you were making at that age, I don't even know where I would be, right? Like, I didn't even start really making decent money until like 32 years old, 28 years old, whatever it was. But like the amount of momentum that you can have and I think that this is key and why you're so successful, Dominic, is like, I always judge people not by the first success they have, but by how do they continue that success. That's a true entrepreneur. That's a true business person, somebody who can roll one success or one failure into the next success. And that's what I see in front of me, is somebody who's going to be super successful in anything that they do because they're driven. So congratulations on all your success, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to try to, keep it going for as long as I can, try to post as much as I can, try to get into that lifestyle vibe and show some of the things that I'm doing. I really just want to be an open book, to be honest. I want people, I always hate when people are saying, hey, I make all this money, but you have to do this to find out how, I'm like, no, it's all right here, man. This is what I do. This is how I do it. That's why I show my money online. My mom hates it, but I'm tired of, you got to be an open book, I think.
Final question. And then just because you kind of brought it up, is with the friendships that you have, obviously money changes things a little bit. You're not gonna be hanging out with people who aren't as ambitious as you. How have those friendships changed?
When I moved back from Arizona, I had no friends, none. I lost all of them. So when I moved back from Arizona, I think and by the way, everyone's gonna have their own situation here, but that was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's extremely lonely. I don't think I'll ever be that lonely again, but it gave me the reason to work. I'm constantly, there was no partying. I wasn't going out, no girlfriends in sight, no friends, nothing. So like, I just had to work all the time. And then of course, now that I have money, you go to the bar once and I'm online. So people know, especially in my town, what they already knew who I was, but now they're like, holy crap, this kid's like insane. And I remember one time I went to the bar a few months ago and I went with one of my friends and I couldn't move. I literally couldn't move. I was stuck in one spot with a line of people for 3 hours. Each one of them said, I want my time to talk to him and I want to find out what he's doing and how he's doing it. That would have never happened 2 years ago. No one would have cared. So like, things change and you get a nice car. I bought a boat. How many people you think hit me up to go on the boat? A lot, people I haven't talked to since high school.
Girls only.
Yes. I'm pretty good about the ratios for sure. But it's, and then the whole girl situation is obviously a bit different now, it's not super hard anymore to go talk to people, but I think that's one of the things that I needed that alone time to focus on business, because if you're going to go build a business and someone wants to go party on a Friday night, you have to have that mentality to be like, no, I got to stay in and, answer DMs all night. It's not fun, but if you can do that, then you'll be fine. Because now guess what I do? I can party whenever I want. I can go wherever I want. I spent 15 grand on a trip with my family and my friends to the Keys, and it was one of the craziest trips I've ever had in my life. And like, I filmed that and put it on Instagram if you want to see it. But it's like I can do whatever I want whenever I want. That monthly recurring revenue is coming in for years. I've already talked to some of the top affiliates from back in the day. And I'm like, how long do you think I'll have this? And they're like 5 to 10 more years. And I'm like, that's freaking nuts. And so like, imagine where you would be or what somebody would think if like, I would say motivation is the hardest thing to do, because I just got paid today. I got $150,000 paycheck today. Like today, just 150 grand just sent in. I woke up, my mom was like, what's up? And I was like, I got paid today. She's like, what was it? I was like 150 grand. And she just laughed. She goes, that's ridiculous. I was like, yeah.
You owe rent. You better do.
She went, no, she's going to make so much money off of me. She's my real estate agent. She's going to make as much money as you could ever imagine off of all the deals that she's going to hook me up with. So
I hope you just continue to kill it, brother. I think you're so inspiring. I think you're totally an open book. I appreciate it. You're exactly the way you present yourself online, the way you present yourself to me. So I super appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sharing your story, Dominic. And I think that if you're young, and because there's a lot of people who are your age who don't want to do shit right now. If you're young and you want to figure out how to make money, you got to hustle. and follow. There's a million ways to make money out there. You could do it any sort of way. But I would definitely, no matter what business you have, use Go High Level as your technology, no matter what you have. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll check you on the next one. Peace. Okay, on November 10th and 11th in Kansas City, Missouri, we are hosting our mastermind event, which is where you're going to learn how to wholesale, flip, buy and hold, BRRRR, every single real estate strategy under the sun, happening November 10th and 11th in Kansas City, Missouri, right downtown in the building that I bought, using the methods that we will teach you, and you will have everything that you need to get started investing in real estate. We're gonna have attorneys there to set up your asset protection trusts, LLCs. We're going to have sales and marketing funnel experts to help you set up your sales and marketing funnels. We're going to have a tax consultant to make sure that you can eliminate your taxes. And then we're gonna have all of the experts, all people who have retired from their 9-to-5, who are going to speak on you, how they become multimillionaires through investing in real estate. And they're going to teach you the strategies that they use and do every day so that you can become financially free by investing in real estate. That's November 10th and 11th in Kansas City, Missouri. Go to millionairementorshipmastermind.com. Buy your ticket today.